Welcome to the primetime newscast on Equinoxe Television, live from our central news desk in Douala, Cameroon's economic capital city. In our top stories, while Human Rights Watch accuses separatists of committing atrocities in the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon, the Center for Human Rights and Democracy in Africa says atrocities on civilians in the Anglophone regions of the country are committed by state defense forces and non-state armed groups, plus a fight between centralization and decentralization in the southwest region of Cameroon. The senior divisional officer for the Meme Division, Tundon Chamberlain, warns the southwest regional delegates of Mendeville against controlling council activities within the Meme Division. Another fight in the southwest region is between the people of Bonadikombo village and those of Livanda village, or villages of Limbe in the Fako Division, over a disputed portion of land. These are our top stories. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for trusting Equinoxe Television. You are on to our primetime newscast. We are live from our central news desk in Cameroon's economic capital city, Douala. We begin with one of our top stories. Human Rights Watch accuses separatists and non-state armed groups of committing atrocities on the civilian population in the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon in its most recent report released this day, while the Center for Human Rights, that is, and Democracy in Africa, in its report, also rights group says atrocities on the Anglophone population and those living in the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon are committed by state defense and security forces and non-state armed groups. Innocent Ase, in the following report, read through the documents of the two right groups and compiled the following report.
Published on March 12, 2021, Human Rights Watch in the new report accuses armed separatists for rise in kidnapping, killings and other atrocities in recent time. The rights group begins by saying armed separatists on February 27th kidnaps a medical doctor in the northwest region for not contributing to the struggle. After threats to kill him, he was spared upon payment of a ransom of 300,000 francs CFA. This rights group adds the separatist fighters since 2017 have kidnapped hundreds of people, including students, clergy, political leaders, and humanitarian workers. Human Rights Watch notes this recent kidnapping occurred amidst a wave of renewed separatist violence over the past 2 months. It recorded killing of 3 tribal chiefs in a Ata village in the southwest region on February 13 by separatist fighters calling them blacklegs. On January 9th, a principal of a high school in Eyumojok southwest region was killed and another principal from a high school in Tinto, still in the southwest region, wounded by suspected separatist fighters. According to Human Rights Watch, separatist fighters hindered the delivery of humanitarian assistance, killed and tortured those they called blacklegs. Similarly, in a report published by the Center for Human Rights and Democracy in Africa, March 11th, a day before that of Human Rights Watch, the Barrister Agbobala's rights group says human rights violence has deteriorated in recent months in Anglophone Cameroon. The CHRDA, in its report focusing on events from October 2020 to February 2021, accuses the separatist fighters and the military for inflaming human rights violations like extrajudicial executions, torture, arson of schools and villages, wanton destruction of property, retaliatory attacks, the use of improvised explosive devices, arbitrary arrest and illegal detention, abduction, harassment, extortion, and many others, which seriously affect women and children. These, according to CHRDA, are intentional and well-planned violence, mostly by the government forces, citing the Mautu massacre of 10th January 2020, where 9 unarmed civilians were killed and many arrested. The massacre of 4 boys in Metal Quarter in Bamenda on January 23rd, 2021. The January 21st attack in Mauto, to mention but these.
The report of Human Rights Watch comes after another report published earlier this year. The report that focused on what the rights group qualified as atrocities committed by the Defense and Security Forces of Cameroon. It focused on a village in the Manyu division of the southwest region of Cameroon. However, the report suffered a backlash from the government of Cameroon. The government and its officials discredited the report of Human Rights Watch and qualified it as being biased. We shall be coming back to this report of Human Rights Watch and that of the Center for Human Rights and Democracy in Africa in commentaries during the second part of this news. That will be talking point. But the Anglophone regions of Cameroon are not only suffering the atrocities and the impact of the armed conflicts, there is also the health crisis, that is the global health challenge, the coronavirus, which is also making life very difficult to the people of the Anglophone region, especially those of the northwest region. The northwest region that is reportedly recording and increasing and disturbing numbers in the coronavirus pandemic. In the following report, Mbustela says that within 1 week, over 12 persons have died as a result of the coronavirus in the northwest, and over 500 new cases have been detected. Her report.
At checkpoints, while moving into or out of Bamenda using public transport, it is common to hear these, and I quote, "Make any man wear your mask, or if you get your money, no wear 'em." This means everyone stepping out to present their identification documents at the checkpoint should properly wear their masks or be ready to pay some money to the forces. This announcement, most often by the bus conductor, gets most passengers searching through their hand luggages for their masks. On the streets of Bamenda, masks are worn at the side of control teams, while tap buckets which had been distributed barely have water and soap.
Look at that order, back up. Inside, you know, what is me? Look at the mask. You are not shamed.
Since the start of 2021, there has been a rapid increase in new cases of coronavirus in the Northwest region, as well as deaths associated with COVID-19. Between February 28th and March 6th, 2021, a total of 6,591 COVID-19 diagnostic tests were conducted, while 563 persons tested positive, 126 recovered, and 12 died in just 1 week. Health experts say the figures are alarming. Coronavirus is real. No one is spared. Everyone is at risk. The respect of barrier measures, that is, the wearing of face masks, washing of hands with soap and running water, and the maintaining of physical distance of at least 1.5 meters from each other, health experts say, can prevent and limit the spread of the coronavirus. Also, persons with flu-like symptoms are advised to get to the nearest health unit for possible dictation and early treatment in the case of the coronavirus.
As of the statistics made out of different communiques and releases from the persons in charge of health issues in the northwest region of Cameroon, it was made known that the northwest regional chieftain Bamenda has the highest number of COVID-19 cases, and seconded by Kambe, which is the chieftain of the Donga Mountain division, and on the third position is Kumbu, chieftain of the Bui division of the northwest region of Cameroon. Officials have continued to ask the people to strictly respect COVID-19 measures put in place by the government, measures that were recently outlined by Prime Minister Chief Dr. Joseph John Guti. And following the increase in number of cases, the Northwest Regional Delegate of Public Health had this to say in a communique today. He says following a consultative meeting with the regional delegates of secondary education for the Northwest region of Cameroon, and with instructions from the hierarchy that is in Cameroon, he is informing the people of the Northwest region and school officials of a program which is aimed at testing pupils and students as well as teachers of COVID-19 in all school campuses within the Northwest region. The program is expected to start soon. We shall be coming back to this in subsequent edition of information on Equinoxe Television. But we'll take you to Nkonsamba in the Mungo division of the Littoral region, where a nurse is said to have died as a result of COVID-19. The information was made public by the director of the Nkonsamba District or Regional Hospital, Dr. George Philbert, as Martin Jikangebe tells us in the following report.
The medical corps in Nkonsamba is the latest to be hit by the coronavirus, with a nurse who died recently at the Nkonsamba hospital. Infection rate has also increased, as the director of the Nkonsamba hospital told us. We have more than 200 diagnosed cases of COVID-19. One person has died as a result of the disease, and at the moment we have another in a very critical state. Amongst them, one of us is being taken care of. The director also confirmed the present situation is worse if compared to last year. There are more COVID-19 cases this time when we look at the numbers last year in our hospital and Nkonsamba in general. From January to 11th of March 2021, the number has drastically increased. According to the director of the hospital, sensitization is supposed to be done more by communicators, while doctors take charge of infected cases. Sensitization is supposed to be done by all of us, particularly the journalists, while the doctors take care of positive cases. Reasons why the communication sector is very vital now. With the recent increase of infection of coronavirus in Nkonsamba, authorities are calling on inhabitants to be more vigilant and respect barrier measures put up by government.
Smart Jikangebe reporting, and I will take you to one of our lead stories to say that tension is building up between Livanda village and Bonadikombo village, all in Limbe in the Fako division of the Southwest region of Cameroon, over a disputed portion of land. Recently, the chief of Livanda took a bulldozer to the disputed portion of land and prepared it for construction of houses ordered by the village traditional rulers. He says the land has been wrongly occupied by people under the instruction of the chief of Bonadikombo. He also indicated that the chief of Bonadikombo recently went ahead to install a quarterhead in the quarter that occupies the disputed piece of land. Our correspondent in Limbe, Davison Maimo, has the rest of the story.
With the growth in population, the city of Limbe is gradually and steadily witnessing an expansion. Nearby forests are slowly being transformed to habitat areas, coupled with the fact that the Minister of State Property and Land Tenure suspended the allocation of new layout and land surrender by the Cameroon Development Corporation, the CDC, within Fako Division. However, the expansion through community or village land recently has created tension between villages in Limbe, with the administration alleged of playing double standard. A standoff between Livanda village and Bonadikombo Maifo village, all in Limbe 1 subdivision, is imminent. Following the opening of road, demarcation of plot by the Livanda Traditional Council within an area that has been known belongs to Bonadikombo Maifo village. Motia Matthias Motia is the chief of Livanda.
We are sending the chief of Bonadikombo to go back to archives. He is not the first chief of Bonadikombo. There have been chiefs, and the boundaries of this village has been respected from time memorial. This land belongs to Livanda village.
He further claimed the entire Bonadikombo O Road area belongs to Livanda village.
Our boundaries right at the Ombe River with Tiko subdivision. There are coordinates, there are PVK pillars, there are pillars defining villages in Fako division.
Question on the fate of those who bought land through Bonadikombo Traditional Council, he has this to say.
We are going to have a concession with them to see that we will regularize things with them. We are not here to send the people away.
His outing is coming on the heels of the installation of a quarter head within the neighborhood by the Bonadikombo Traditional Council.
Any installation that will be done, I tell you, the Livanda people are genic from a warrior's family. We are going to challenge that day and night. There will never be any installation in this quarter unless Livanda village install a quarter head here.
The chief of Bonadikombo Maifo village, David Nanyowe, who was not around by the time of this report, on phone called for calm, saying measures have been put in place to salvage the situation. Sources say the administration, judicial and the forces of law and order are already warming up to begin investigations and the holding of crisis meetings. All these shall entail expenditure from the two traditional councils and by extension those who have parcel of land within the area.
Davidson Mamo reporting there from Limbe in the Fako division of the Southwest region. And now we take you to the Center region to talk of a protest staged by workers of the Nashtiga hydroelectric dam project. They've down their tools asking for the payment of their dues. They say the management has of the company in charge of construction has refused to pay them housing allowances, the health allowances, as well as risk allowances. They are also angry that the said official is describing them using words such as Negro, which according to them is insultive. They are asking the governor of the Central region as well as the senior divisional officer for the Upper Sanaga to see into the issue. The workers have also blocked the main entryway into the project site, saying that no work will go on until their dues are paid. We stay in the Central region of Cameroon, taking you to the Ngwaikele Glass House to say that the eldest member of parliament, Laurentine Kwafugu, has said that she is worried about the continuous killings ongoing in the two Anglophone regions of Cameroon. She was speaking while opening the parliamentary year for 2021, an ordinary session yesterday. Our reporter Immaculate Fogwe has the rest of the story.
While waiting for the election of new bureau members at the National Assembly, the eldest member of parliament, Honorable Laurentine Kwamefege, denounces the killings ongoing in the northwest and southwest regions of the country. Members of the Cameroon Democratic Union political party expressed the need for the Anglophone crisis to be addressed at the National Assembly during this March parliamentary session.
Members of the UDC party are expecting concrete actions to be taken during this parliamentary session. Discussion on the over 4 years armed conflict has been avoided at the National Assembly for long. I think now it is the right time for us to handle this situation. If not, the conflict will keep escalating.
La résolution de la crise arrêtera ces crimes crapuleux.
Meantime, members of the Cameroon Party for National Reconciliation (PCRN) party frowned at the attitude of some members of the ruling CPDM party who continue creating disorder at the National Assembly.
Many of them do what they want because they know they are members of the ruling party. They believe things should work the way they want. I hope the eldest member of parliament will be able to address such poor behavior.
Members of the Social Democratic Front (SDF) party on their part condemned the slow execution of some road projects due to the mismanagement of public funds.
We need to know how funds meant for the construction of roads are used. During this session, all those handling uncompleted projects will have to give us answers on why their projects are still pending.
During this March parliamentary session, members of government are expected to give account of how far they have gone with projects put at their disposal.
Coming up is Talking Point. Stay with us, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks, ladies and gentlemen, for receiving us on Talking Points. Thanks for staying with us. We are receiving political analysts and educationists. We are receiving Dr. Nick Wajam. Doctor, thanks for accepting our invitation.
Thank you. It looks like it's boiling over, so one has to come more often.
Yes, we're happy to have you, especially when key issues have to be discussed. You watched the news from start. What caught your attention in most of the reports?
I think there were about 3 or 4 things that caught my attention. First, this issue of this white man calling us Negroes. I think we've gone past that, and for no reason someone should come to my house and insult me. I find that very, very insulting, really. Yeah, I followed it on social media, and I think it's not because someone comes to do work for us that he should take advantage to be insulting us. It's an insult, and I could see that the administration was playing games with him and so on. When you insult us, that is a no-go area. It should not be done. And then I was listening to what the medical doctor from Kongsamba was saying. When it comes to public health education, I mean, there's nothing like a doctor who is trained to just work in a hospital and somehow to educate people. No, a medical doctor is first your preventive. That is, talking about health issues is the medical doctor's responsibility. You have to educate the population. Just sitting in the hospital trying to treat the sick is not the way. And therefore I'm telling the doctor and all doctors and the whole nation that it's the place of all doctors to come out like soldiers and then educate the whole nation about this and stay at the forefront of the fight. We all backed up, and you saw administrators going up and people going up and so on, and then native doctors going up and so on, and you kind of like you've abandoned your work to some other people. No, what the medical doctor in Kumba was saying, he's saying he will be treating the sick ones, and in Kongsamba, wherever, he will be treating the sick ones, and people who are talking should be talking. No, that's not correct. Everybody, every medical doctor, you're supposed to take the frontline measure and be out there educating the people, as they say in French, les égrave.
Yes.
And then, of course, I think there was some troubles with land and so on.
Yeah, we had some challenges, disputed portion of land that is threatening, that is the peace between the people of Livanda village and those of Bona de Kumbo, all in Limbe.
Yeah, that's what happens when you have these demographic explosions and so on. And I hope that they would find some peace there, because each time there's something in the northwest, in the southwest, they always accuse northwesterners. But I think this time around, it has nothing to do with northwesterners, and therefore we should look for some peace out there.
Doc, I wanted you to say more than a word on that issue of those striking in Yaoundé, where the manager of the company in charge of construction says that director calls them Negro. Because I got some of the excerpts, though they were in French, will not put them in the English news, where the people are even more worried. They say the man is insultive. Apart from not only not paying their dues, he's also insultive. But at the same time, we find the SDO for the Upper Sanagan, the governor, playing on his side.
Yeah. I noticed that. I mean, when you have an administration that sells the birthright of a people to foreigners, you run into this kind of a problem. And they are calling it Negro. The SDO, they think that probably they are calling by the workers Negro. They are calling even you, the SDO, Negro. They are calling our president Negro.
Absolutely.
They are insulting all of us, and we sit there and we are begging for little things to mimbo. I mean, stand up and defend yourselves. You don't allow someone to come to your house and insult you and your
Cameroon is a dirty country.
No.
To say the law is not meant to protect Negroes.
No. I don't tolerate that, and that is the problem with most of these people. When it means to go around and beat people on the streets, they will do that. Then when a white man or a foreigner comes, and then you begin to beg. This is beggarly attitude.
Okay.
Shame.
Now, as we proceed faster, you're also a medical doctor, and you are actually asking medical doctors to come out and fight. But unfortunately, in most cases, when we as journalists go to get interviews, we have incidents in some hospitals. They are not welcoming. They don't also want to come out to tell us what exactly happens. And when we go with stories from some sources closer, they turn on and they are saying like journalists are not doing their work right.
It's a country where it's been functioning. A lot of people have not been taught to communicate. You know, we are human beings, and communication is a key factor of the human existence, and you must communicate. And if it has to do with health issues, and you are a medical doctor, you are in the health sector, you are the one who has to come to the forefront and communicate. I think they just feel so how do I say it? So small or so cornered, because you know, the thing was taken over by administrators, and then they went to a corner and were sleeping and said, no, you the doctors, you're supposed to stand up and talk. Unless, you see, we are going to be talking about vaccinations now, but what is our capacity to even know whether the vaccines are good or not? It's because of this attitude where our technologies are not right, we don't stand on our feet, and we keep thinking that we are small. And even if you're small, learn the right thing and do it right.
We've got some issues, burning issues. We headline our news on one of these issues, that is the fight between centralization and decentralization in the Southwest region. We have two communiques that are making rounds on social media. We got, first of all, that of the Southwest regional delegate of the Ministry of Decentralization and Local Development, asking his collaborator in the Meme division that he will soon be coming for a tour to control councils. And a few days later, the SGO for Meme comes and is calling the regional delegate that no, it is not in your right to do this, you are not supposed to do this. I am the overall, I am the man that is being empowered by the law to control councils within the Meme. You can do that elsewhere, but not within the Meme.
I love that. Honestly, I wish we have more of these fights all over the whole nation. I really wish we had more of those fights. It would be great, because you know, when I started talking about my confederation, it was because I could see this bicephalism, or as you would call it, fight over this, that, because the power lines are not very clear. Okay, it's a wishy-washy kind of thing. If you put all of them in a hall and you start questioning them, put all the administrators and whatever, put all of them and start questioning them. Yeah, put all of them. Okay, let's go to a region now and see. Okay, there's the regional delegate for decentralization. He is there. There is the governor. He is there. There are those SDOs. They are there. And then now there are about two other people that were elected.
Yes,
I don't even know their names.
Council.
Something for regional council. What is that? What is it for the region?
Yes, we had assemblies. We have regional council.
Yeah. You said I don't even retain them because they make no sense.
I know that.
Yes, they don't make sense. You have that one. Then you have another one that is appointed to look. So about 5-6 persons in a small area. All of them administrators and secretary of the region, doing nothing. Don't know how to make a penny. Only waiting for people to send jama and pay them, and they are doing absolutely nothing. Just stepping on each other's toes because we refuse to sort out the problems of the nation properly. If we have sorted out the problems of the nation properly, we will not have people stepping on each other's toes. You will have just one elected governor, and then if you come to the divisions, you elect somebody who works in the capacity of the SDO, but he's not appointed. It's because now you are having people who are appointed and then people who are elected. Nobody knows what to do, and then they're just stepping on each other's toes, fighting for influence.
Well, Cameroonians, especially those in the Anglophone regions, expected a proper implementation, the clear and clearly defined implementation of decentralization, which the government has said could be a solution to the Anglophone crisis. It doesn't but at the level of implementation, we are still having challenges.
It doesn't work because nobody can define to you what special status is, and as long as we don't step back and do this thing as it ought to be, it will not work. Let me put it in there. Let me give you a sound example of how we have to understand this. Now imagine we have a thick forest and we must create a road through this thick forest. In the first part of our work, we come with a bulldozer and we open the road. All right. Once you have opened the road with the bulldozer, then you come with a grader and you do the finishing. So that's how Cameroon has to be decentralized. And by the way, when we say decentralization, when the Americans and Canadians are using that word, they mean, centralized means everything is there in the center. Decentralized means, push it aside. And then, spread it to the periphery. And there are different words and mechanisms of spreading it to the periphery. But when it comes to Cameroon, we use this decentralization to mean the 10 regions. And then, even when we do what we call decentralization, we do some piecemeal kind of thing that is not working and is very deceitful. We need to make things so that they work. Either we are there to make things work or not. Because when we keep playing tricks like this, and these things came out of decentralization, that major national dialogue, which was actually intended to solve the Anglophone problem, but it was, they played around it. So that's why we are having all the difficulties, and that's why I'm saying I need more of these fights to prove the point. We need to break up Cameroon into two. We have to go through phases. Cameroon is a big, huge chunk now. Break it first into West Cameroon, East Cameroon, then go inside West Cameroon and East Cameroon, and break West Cameroon into that I think called decentralization. Break it into two units in West Cameroon. Break it into 8 units in East Cameroon, and then make sure that you put new wine into new wine skins. What do I mean? These appointed SDOs and governors and all these appointed people, they were there since from 1960, and they have just one mindset in maintaining law and order. But how they create economic activities, they don't know. How they create wealth, they don't know. How they solve other problems beyond maintaining law and order is something that is beyond them, and that's why we are having this chaos. And if we are having a lot of problems now, you see, a lot of youth don't have work, and so on. So we need to come up with a new mindset where we are creating opportunities for youth. All these youths riding motorcycle on the streets and falling out of our universities, what they need is not law and order. What they need is economic opportunities. What we need is to move the country forward, and it's not in their power. They don't have the capacity to do it. And besides, anyway, I'm glad that there is this other school for administration that is coming up in Boya. I hope that they will be given the powers, and then what we call ENAM will be downgraded or even shut down, so that we come up with a new breed of people who know exactly what to do. Because as I said in a WhatsApp message somewhere, I said 80% of our problems in Cameroon come from ENAM. They are caused by ENAM, and someone said I was even very generous.
Now, Doc, you are outlining where something different could be done, but you started from defining it globally. It looks different from what we have as decentralization. But when you get to the people, that is very close to the people, you still talk about decentralization. Is that your kind of decentralization that might come even within the state of the confederated state of West Cameroon, going to be the same like the one we have in? And if it is the same, what are the chances that the problems, the fighting for power and to control council budget and finances will not be there?
That's right. That's what the fight is. People want to look for ways they can grab money and so on. Make it very clear. West Cameroon, East Cameroon, there are mechanisms for sharing the budget and so on. And then as long as you don't appoint people there, and the people who are there are elected by the grassroots, then there will be a working understanding between the grassroots and those people who are elected. And then if you don't do your job well, they throw you out, and then they put someone there who will do the job the way they want. And then the government can appoint a spy to come in there and be watching over what the elected officials are doing, but he has no right to dictate to the elected people. If you don't do that, we will keep having this mix up, and nothing will work.
All right, and now we need to proceed, Doc. A decentralization that came within the context of that is the law on the General Code of Regional and local, local authorities. It came in 2019. That is preached and presented by government officials as a major step to resolve the Anglophone crisis. We are seeing its lapses, and the one we've just described now. Another angle where Cameroonians expected that there could be a possible resolution to the Anglophone crisis was the window of the National Assembly. But since the Anglophone crisis started sometime in 2016, we have had not less than 16 sessions of the National Assembly. I'm talking about ordinary sessions. We've not had the Anglophone crisis on the table of discussion or for discussion. What chances do we have that this session of 2021 will have the Anglophone crisis on the table?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, I'm not looking forward to them discussing. Even if they discuss it, they will just be singing some kind of a song that makes no sense, because over time they have shown that they are incapable of solving a problem, and I don't blame them. And for starters, let's make a good statement here to say that the Senate is not really very useful in Cameroon, and that's something that should be brushed away. And then the money that we are using to run the Senate, run the Bilingualism Commission, run the Social and Economic Council, that money should be taken, and then we train our youths how to grow rice, how to grow fish, and create this economic opportunities more useful than wasting it on something that doesn't work. Now, when it comes to the parliament, they are who they are, and then they need to be panel beaten and corrected. And of course, they are going to be electing their members officials.
The bureau members.
I just hope, when there was about a year ago or so, I noticed something very interesting up in the Marwa area there, where Mr. Kabayege they went and they were in this hall and they were talking. I don't know whether it was, I don't know what occasion it was, but it had to do either with the party or some 20th May or whatever. I can't remember. But there's one gentleman who is fair in complexion. He tall and he was wearing some white bubu. He stood up and was laying some complaints to Mr. Cavalier Gabriel, and I was so disappointed because the people were bringing their local problems to them, and the man said that he was going to carry them to hierarchy. Are you getting what I'm saying? Yeah. And he is hierarchy, and they're giving you small problems at your nose, you can't solve them, and then you say you take them to hierarchy. I mean, it's really a shame, and I hope that somebody who's newer and wiser can come there.
President, is that man from the Far North region, one of the regions considered as the worst in Cameroon in terms of development, social basic amenities. But he's been president of the National Assembly.
In the north, there are no schools, the children don't have benches, and so you expect probably President Pobia to go and do that. I mean, he gives you the power, gives everything, but people just turn around, steal the money, and don't do the jobs, and now the country is falling apart, and the same people run around, je vais dire president, tu vas dire power president.
And not only him, we've also had the president of the Senate, Masenya Difenji, who's been consistently absent from Senate sessions.
The beautiful thing is that President Pobia is prescribing everything, and what he is interested in now is interested in reconciliation and unity of the nation. And for reconciliation to happen, there's going to be a series of things that will clear up this bad governance and many other things, and you will see a lot of things happening.
Thanks, Dr. Nick Gwanyam. It was an interesting chat with you.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for staying with us. Stay on Equinox Television. Coming up is Equinox Soir with Serge Alain Otto and his guests. Wow, Doc.